So I was thinking today that we could maybe work with grief, like
With
grief. It's my Scottish.
sorry, yeah, I'm a bit deaf, as you've obviously realised.
I turned up my microphone. I hope that's better.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just my
Yeah,
hearing's not
I
great.
still haven't got round to doing anything with that other video yet. Sorry.
No, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I thought we could like embrace grief, any kind of grief that we have about anything. I had someone visiting yesterday, a really lovely person I did a podcast with, and she saw that there was like the one of the horses was chasing the other one. Totty was chasing Marie, and it was really unusual, really out of kind of character for her. And she said she was sensing grief, and I think it was, for me, it was probably around Gracie. But then I kind of started feeling that it's just a sort of thing at the moment. It's like there is grief to be resolved, so I don't know if you resonate with that, Gabby. We did a with Beth Benton. We did a shamanic soul retrieval for Gabby the other day, or she did anyway, and that was really, really powerful. So yeah, and I think maybe that brought up some stuff. So what do you feel about that, Gabby? Does that sound right to you?
Yeah. And also it's the anniversary of the accident tomorrow.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's true. I didn't think about that. I never think about dates, but yeah, okay. Okay. Well, we'll do that then.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's just let that go. Even the idea of grief at the moment. And just feel into right now and the opportunity that we have right now. To receive, to be receptive. And almost feeling it like a change in our skin, in our surface area. That we can become more sensitive, more alive. Just feeling for that tingling. Not necessarily physically. It might be physically, but energetically. Feeling that boundary that we have with the outside world. And remembering that we're not really separate. Just feeling into our own unique way of communicating, of communing with what's outside. And receiving. Maybe feeling how what we sense as resistance, or what we might sense as a lack of awareness, or a lack of sensitivity, a numbness, or any form of limitation in our ability to receive. Just opening the door for that to find a way of resolving itself. So we don't have to think about it. We don't have to figure out how. We just feel the potential. And feeling how that opens our heart as a group, as an individual, as a being. And feeling how when we open our heart, that opens everything. And it's an awareness of the ether, of the connection of everything, of all the molecular passageways, like water, like air. And there's almost a shift that happens where we can't feel the boundary anymore, because we are reception itself. We become a still point of sentience, of awareness. Just feeling the vastness of that. Of being able to feel forever. Forever in space. Forever in time. Letting the meaning radiate through to us so we don't think what that means. We receive what that means. We become what that means. And from that place of wisdom, of pure openness, defenselessness, we can invite whatever grief, we haven't resolved or we haven't listened to. We haven't fully engaged with because it wasn't time. Just breathing that in, breathing in the joy of being able to choose, the joy that we have that choice to decide when we're ready and when it's right. And knowing that we don't have to engage with any emotions or trauma that we're not ready for. It's just an invitation. And we're allowing ourselves, allowing our full being to absorb that grief. Like a sponge. And just feel the weight of it. Without having to judge it or question it or fear it. Because we're feeling the pure grief itself at the root. Not the thoughts or the extrapolations or the ramifications of the grief, but the grief itself. And we might feel the need to open a larger space. To be able to carry it if it's heavy. And just becoming aware of the support that's there. The larger witnessing the love that surrounds us and how peaceful it is. As a reminder that we don't need to feel overwhelmed or worry about inviting this grief. We don't have to be frightened or fearful of the weight of feeling heavy or feeling swept away even by it. Because we know that that larger presence is always there and we're always held. And remembering to breathe. And breathing in that larger presence of love that's offering itself. While we allow the grief, allow it to be heavy, allow it to be felt and heard. And we're not trying to alter it or resolve it. We're just experiencing it. And allowing it to be experienced and be expressed as vastly and deeply as it needs to be. And let's join our grief now. Join our personal grief to the collective grief of this group first. So sharing that space with each other. And feeling how soft and vulnerable and perfect that is. And beginning to share with the grief of all beings. And allowing that resonance to define itself like a rhythm or a song. Allowing it to feel the freedom of being seen, being felt. And to feel the peace of expansion, the peace of no longer being held. No longer being compartmentalized or taken on as an individual, separate. entity. So we can feel it stretching and breathing. And allowing it, the collective grief, allowing it to express itself, allowing it to process. And being a witness, observing that process. How does it move? How does it change? How does it breathe? Just feeling that subtle shift. When it's no longer our grief. When it's something we can witness, something we can perceive. But not something that we carry. And it's okay if that shift isn't ready yet to happen. But just allowing. If a feeling of joy or love, acceptance, compassion, or peace wishes to be felt too. And remembering that the flow is always happening. That we are that flow. Feeling the lightness of that. That we don't have to remember anything. That everything we need, we receive. And just feeling the joy of that. The power of that. the expansion and the light. Let's appreciate and thank the grief for coming to us. And appreciate the process and the wisdom and the support and the miracle that we can be aware of all of these wonderful feelings. And appreciating ourselves for how sensitive we are. How courageous to choose to feel, to choose awareness. And to choose love above all. Remembering to breathe. Breathe that love into every cell. Every particle of our being. And to breathe it into each other and to accept it from each other. And remembering the oneness. Amplifying that feeling of sharing, of collaboration, of one heart, one consciousness. And how glorious that feels. Bringing that magnificent feeling back into our awareness. On the cognitive level. So we're just opening our eyes when we're ready, coming back into the connection of words,